The UK has selected its act for Eurovision 2018. Her name is SuRie. Should we talk about it? Let's do this! It is Chris and Jonathan here from wiwibloggs.com, and we have just watched SuRie win Eurovision You Decide, and well, I'm certainly happy. I'm so happy. We are stood in the middle of Brighton and it is very cold, so if we don't sound quite right, that's probably why. Yes, no, I thought that it was a very good show overall, and I thought that the best song won on the night. I thought that her performance live in the arena, that reaction was something I didn't expect. I didn't think that it was gonna kind of be that anthemic. It had a quality that I don't think I'd really ever thought of would be in the song. And one of the things that I said at the time was, it's kind of like Mick Spack. Like, none of us thought that people would be singing along and doing all that with his song. And yet, you know, it happened and we all saw his result. Not saying the UK will exactly get that same result straight away, but it has, you know, it's a good sign, I think. Jonathan, what did you think?
I'm not 100% sold on it yet. I was definitely taken by surprise when the crowd really got behind it, and I was sort of stood there just sort of quietly doing my thing, and then everyone started singing along, and yeah, that felt a bit weird considering the hype that was surrounding Asanda beforehand. I still feel it's a bit Eurovision by numbers, and it doesn't impact me in the same way that some of the other songs did tonight. When we were waiting for the press conference, I watched the YouTube video of the actual live performance back to sort of get an idea of what it was like, not with the crowd behind it and everything, and it didn't give me the same quality at all. It was a bit just sort of the same sort of the feeling that I had with the studio version, that it just sort of plods along a bit and it doesn't particularly go anywhere. And I think the comments tonight from the panel were definitely accurate. There's a lot of work that needs to be done on this, particularly in terms of staging. She can't stand behind the microphone for the whole thing. If it is going to be anthemic,
all I'm going to say is tell that to Salvador Sobral.
Yeah, but that was just sort of nice and sweet. But if it's really going to be anthemic, and if she really wants to drive home the song, she's going to need to get more on the side of the crowd and get out there and sort of do something with the performance a bit.
I think, you know, you could see in the reprise she was feeling a bit more life. I think it was like, I think they had told them, I think they told all the acts, you stick to this choreography and you do this and you do that.
Yeah.
Which I think maybe, I mean, that is one of the comments, and I'm sure they will work on it. We saw last year the staging for the UK was amazing. Lucy Jones killed it.
Yeah.
Speaking of Lucy Jones, she was here tonight doing a Waterloo ABBA medley, which I thought was quite good. And yeah, I would say overall, I thought this was the strongest You Decide, both in terms of just the general show and the actual songs on the night. You know, I don't think anybody disappointed themselves, and previously we've had some where it's been like, oh, there's missed notes here or there, and just, there's been little problems, but I thought that this was, generally speaking, a much stronger show. We should talk about some of the other acts. So Raya opened with Crazy. Yeah. I thought it was really good. I thought when, you know, the entire thing was very slick, she was very good live as well, it sounded like.
It was definitely a really good opener, and it got the sort of whole show going, and the dance routine was definitely one of the best sort of staging wises of the night, really.
Yes, I certainly enjoyed her backing dancers, I'm not gonna lie. That was pleasant. Who was second? Second was Liam, yeah, with Astronaut. Look, I think we all of us going into it knew he was good and the song was totally beneath him, and I think that did kind of show through tonight. It just was a little underwhelming, I felt like, and the staging didn't do anything to help it.
It's hard for me because I was part of the OGAE selection of the public submissions. Of the 3 songs that we put forward to Hugh Goldsmith consideration. I would say that 2 of those deserve to be in the final 6 over Astronauts. There could have been a million reasons why it didn't happen. Maybe they weren't able to revamp the demos that we judged to a sufficient quality, or they couldn't find the right singer for it. But yeah, this was definitely probably number 6 of 6.
Yes. I thought it was interesting, actually, something that we didn't know until we got here was that SuRie was actually involved in a lot of these songwriting camps as well. Like, she's obviously somebody that the BBC have probably had on their radar, like, in the background, and then suddenly Storm came out of nowhere and it was right for her. Third, favourite going in, Asander, Legends. Look, I was never a huge fan of the song. I thought that it was obviously good, and obviously a lot of people did like it, but there was a lot of... I just felt like it was gonna fall flat on the night, and to me it kind of did. She's great, and she sounded good for the most part, but again it felt like maybe the choreography was a bit too much. There was something missing, and I could see, you know, the reaction that she got at the time was great, and then SuRie has just so eclipsed it that even like going into the result, I was like, I think SuRie's got this. Like, I got nervous because I kind of wanted Storm to win, and having thought it's not going to do that. And then I was like, oh, it does. But Legends, I don't know.
Yeah, Asander was my clear favourite going into this. I was definitely really rooting for it, and I do think she pulled off a good performance. The guy doing the sort of weird...
Yeah, that was...
It was pretty obvious that he was lip syncing, so that wasn't particularly a great start to the show or performance. And the clip that they used in the sort of recap was not a particularly good one, and it sort of finished with her brushing her hair away, and it didn't really capture what the song was about. No, she's the star, but they, at no point did it make her look like the star. There was a lot of other people. Like, she didn't fade into the background, but you could see, like, on a bigger stage, I think that could happen. I think there's definitely something to say that SuRie may obviously have less nerves going into actually the actual Eurovision and the sort of bigger stage, having done it twice before now. So yeah, I still think Asander put up a very good performance, and I was really happy with it, and it was the one that I voted for. But yeah, I think in a year or two, if she comes back, then she will kill it, because she is a star. She is 100% a star in the making. I just don't think this was the right time or the right performance for it, unfortunately. But I think quite a lot of people maybe disagree with that on social media, so we will see. We will see the fallout from this. Fourth was Jazz Ellington with You, which I thought going into this, I was like, if it's not Asander, it's going to be Jazz. Yeah. And then it just fell. Again, this was another one that live, amazing vocalist, lovely guy, but it just, something didn't connect. I think maybe coming after Asander, the crowd weren't into it as much. Like, there were points where, you know, if he'd have come in a different position in the running order, I think that he might have done better, because I think everybody felt a bit deflated, like we were all waiting. This was like the recovery song. Yeah, and the black, his clothing, all in black, it just looked a bit basic. Which focused on the voice, but... It was very just, man stands behind the microphone and sings nicely, and there wasn't really anything else happening. And I was sort of hoping that I would, you know, connect with the song through his vocals, but it just sort of wasn't enough with the whole thing, really. No.
Yeah, that was a shame. SuRie we've obviously talked about, and then it was Goldstone, who I feel really sorry for, because honestly, after SuRie, I think a lot of the crowd, myself included, we were just kind of blown away, because we hadn't expected it, maybe, and then they came out and it was just very... There was no life left in the crowd. They didn't lift the crowd that much more. You know, they were asking us to clap along, and it wasn't happening. I feel sorry for them, and you know, now I'm trying to think back, and they did sound good, but I just don't remember a lot of it, unfortunately. And I don't know. You know, the impression I've got from people watching who have, you know, tweeted me since is like, yeah, you could tell it felt flat. Again, like, they were all amazing vocalists, and the beat, like, I think no matter who was put after a Sander or SuRie in the running order, they were going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
You know, there would have been problems with that for no matter whoever you were. So I don't, you know, the BBC aren't to blame for that. It's just, you know, it's an unfortunate one again.
Yeah, I think with Goldstone, you could tell that they pretty much got the lowest reception from the crowd. Obviously, it was on last, so we've been through quite a bit already.
Yes.
But like in the recaps, it was just pretty dead when it got to the final bit.
Yeah, and then we had Wombles aplenty, which I loved. If people who don't know who the Wombles are were probably like, what the hell is going on? Anybody from a different country watching on a live stream who doesn't know the Wombles, yeah, I apologise, British humour. But, again, I thought the script writing, everything was better. Like, I was worried that the ABBA puns that were, you know, we kind of saw the auto cue, yeah, and there were loads of ABBA puns, and I was like, this is going to be dreadful. But actually, you know what, I thought, overall, you know, Mel is always great. There was only one Eurovision mention that I heard this time, which is good. Mons, I thought, was very good. We know he can host, obviously, anyway. A lot of the references like, oh, I won Eurovision 2015, that's where you know me from. Like, I thought it was all very tongue-in-cheek, and I thought they did a good job. And I just would say hats off to the BBC, honestly, because I do think this was a very, very good national final. It continues the upward trend, I think. Yeah,
when I was came down to London for the public submission shortlisting, you could tell that Helen, the head of delegation, and the BBC were very much up for this, and they were trying to do as well as they can, and they're sort of trying to build this Eurovision You Decide brand, so to speak.
Yes.
And you know, they are aiming for a win. They would love for the UK to win. It may take a while to get there.
I don't think it's with SuRie. I'm just going to put this out there. As much as I love the song, I mean, I said to her in our interview, you can watch it on wiwibloggs YouTube. I said top 4 would be great. You know, she's come 2 times before. Do it again. The UK will love you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can see. Where do you think it will finish roughly? I mean, we've only heard this is the 7th song, so obviously we have no idea really.
I still am worried that it will get lost. Particularly if it goes early in the running order, and she doesn't build it as much as an anthem as she should do. So I'm still not totally convinced that we will make it onto the left-hand side of the scoreboard. But hopefully with some killer staging like we had last year, then maybe we can at least match Lisa Jones.
And she knows, you know, she knows how Belgium works as well, so SuRie will be able to offer advice as well, just from that. You know, it's not like we're going in with a complete unknown. That's something that has come up quite a few times in discussion about SuRie. She knows kind of the Eurovision, she knows what to expect. You know, she said, oh, you know, I've never had to be at the front, but, you know, she was kind of almost front and centre alongside Loïc Notet at parts of Rhythm Inside, so... Yes, and I would just say one final thing. The panel, I thought, Rylan offered some very, very good, you know, a lot of people were very negative about him, but I thought, you know what, he was right on with a lot of the comments. And it is the whole ethos of the BBC at the moment, it feels like, is changing, and they're trying to make the UK realise, no, this is serious, and so it is currently like 1 degree, or it feels colder than that, in Brighton at the moment, so we are going to go and get warm. Let us know here on wiwibloggs what you think about SuRie. Are you happy that she's represented the UK? Do you think she'll do well? Do you think she'll finish left-hand side of the scoreboard? Or where do you think? Let us know here on wiwibloggs.
Make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel and hit that bell button so you get notified of all our upcoming videos, and leave your comments down below.
There we go, and we'll see you later. Bye.